guys. Well, look, sit back and chill the next 3 hours. Make sure to tweet us, hashtag Good Morning Football, GMFB. And, you know, as we were saying, guys, we've got a busy day here on NFL Network. Not one, but two games today, and both have playoff implications. A Buffalo win in Denver would mean the Bills take the AFC East for the first time since 1995, while Green Bay needs a win over the Panthers to remain in the driver's seat for the top seed in the NFC. And that's where we'll start today's walkthrough to get you ready for the weekend's biggest games. Of course, we got the Packers offense rolling right now. Number one in points, number two in yards, and that Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams connection stronger than ever. Green Bay scoring 33 a game in their last four, facing a Panthers defense that's been struggling. So, Mike, Rob, what do you expect from old Rodgers?
Yeah, I expect some explosive play-action passes down the football field. Aaron Rodgers has been using play-action on about 30% of his dropbacks this season. That's the most that we've seen out of Aaron Rodgers in the last 4 seasons. This Matt LaFleur offense is built off the run game. They average about 124 yards rushing a game. They want to be a physical bunch up front, and they want to force you to stop the run so they can be explosive in the passing game. Where the rubber meets the road is these linebackers for the Carolina Panthers. They're very versatile. Shaq Thompson and company. These guys know how to react to the run and then get back in pass coverage. I'm going to be looking at that tonight.
All right, Mike, Rob, with two sides to that story. We got a big one and the big easy. Of course, it is cheap at Saints. And the big news, we heard it yesterday, Drew Brees returning for New Orleans just in time to face the defending champs. And while Brees is back for the first time since Week 10, he'll be without his number one wideout, Michael Thomas. So, D-Hall, where does Brees help this Saints offense the most?
You know what? Drew Brees allows this Saints offense to do what? Get the football in the best player's hands, and that's Alvin Kamara. We saw Taysom Hill, who loved to run around all over the place. He was using the check down as his legs, and now Drew Brees gets to put the football back in Alvin Kamara's hand and try to execute their offense more on timing routes and inside possession routes like they're used to doing for Sean Payton.
I'm going to call him 4 games Breeze. This guy just refuses to follow Dr. Timelines, always coming out ahead of schedule. And finally, Bills Broncos, the first of, as I said earlier, 2 games on our network. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the rest of Buffalo's offense all in sync right now, top 10 in yards and points. And with a victory, they'll win 11 games in a season for the first time since 1990. So, James Palmer, you are all over this matchup. You join us live this morning. James, the latest Bills QB to win 11 games in a year, you'd have to go all the way back to 1993, Jim Kelly. So it looks like they've finally found their successor there.
Oh, you're right, Jay. They found him. He was right up the road here at the University of Wyoming. And it's funny because Josh Allen had some accuracy issues there, some accuracy issues in his first 2 seasons. How about this year? He is on pace to set the completion percentage record for the Buffalo Bills franchise for a season. Where did this growth happen? Well, I talked to General Manager Brandon Beane this week, and he told me they always knew the accuracy things were going to change. Mainly it's his decision-making this season that has allowed him to be more accurate with the football. They also love how self-aware he is. He'll go to the coaching staff before they even have an opportunity to come to him about where he thought maybe his footwork was wrong or his arm angle was incorrect. And then there's 2 games where they really believe he took massive steps. One is the New England game last year where he threw 3 interceptions, and they had a long conversation with him after that game, Jane. And what they told him was this: you don't have to go out and throw 300 yards every game. You don't have to put the whole game on your shoulders. You have to understand what type of game you are in. And the other one is last week against the Steelers where they started punt, 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 punt. They said the old Josh Allen would have went out, forced the football, try to do too much. What he did in that game, he let it come to him, watched the tape, saw that Stephon Diggs was open regularly, went out and let him go and make some plays. Those are all the reasons the Bills told me that he has made this massive jump in his 3rd season.
Well, Josh Allen might be heating up, but you look cold out there, James. I know you're used to it in Denver, but thanks for getting up early with the reporting. Look at the scenarios. They lock up the AFC East for the first time since 1995 with a win or a Miami loss, guys. And if neither of those things happen, they still clinch a playoff berth if the Ravens fall to the Jags tomorrow. So that's going to open up the debate here. Do you guys think that the Bills can win the Super Bowl? The Bills 6-1 in their last 7. Their only loss, that Hail Mary in Arizona. Mike, Rob, we start with you. President of Bills Mafia, do you believe Buffalo has enough to win the Super Bowl? He's just jumping in for us right there.
Yeah, you know what? This is not even a question for me. I could have asked this question last year, but to go to James Palmer's point, I mean, it's all embodied in the quarterback, Josh Allen, and he's absolutely right. It's not so much the accuracy, which obviously the numbers point to. He's completing the football almost 70% of the time, but it is the decision making. And you guys have heard me on this show for the last couple of years talk about Josh Allen being able to calm down because in critical situations he turns the football over. And now this year we've seen him grow. We've seen the maturation process. He has grown into that leader. He has grown into that guy. Guys, this past week, I have a radio show here locally in Richmond, Virginia. I'm on with a guy by the name of Wes McElroy, and we talked to one of the safeties for the Bills, Dean Marlowe. And Dean talked about at practice how Josh challenges not only the offense, but the defense, not only to just be good, but to be great. And him, coupled with that personality in Stephon Diggs, has just made this whole offense and this team come together. And again, like I said before, it's all embodied in Josh Allen. So to answer your question, Jane, hell yeah, they can win the Super Bowl. And actually, I expect it.
M-Rob, you're absolutely right. I say yes as well, man. Being around you for these last couple of years, president of Bills Mafia, you've definitely rubbed off on me. But when I cut the tape on and I watched the Buffalo Bills play, they went from a couple years ago from a dominating defense that offensively would turn the football over, would make mistakes, to now still a dominating defense, and an offense that's explosive. And the biggest part of that is Stephon Diggs. And I've watched Stephon Diggs grow from a receiver in Minnesota that would still go out there and challenge you and could win one-on-ones to one of the top receivers in the league. I think the top 1, 2, or 3 in the National Football League. And yes, I said it. Stephon Diggs is a top 3 receiver in this league. The way he wins one-on-one matchups, he just makes Josh Allen's job so easy. When he needs a play to be made, Stephon Diggs goes out and makes a play for this Buffalo Bills offense. So, absolutely, man, the Bills can win a Super Bowl.
I am tempted to say yes. And not just because our producers would be in a tizzy because everybody else is saying yes and they like some disagreement here. No, I'm tempted to say yes because I've said about this Bills team the last couple of years that they win the games they're supposed to win, but those games, those litmus test games, they haven't been winning those. Well, they've actually done a little bit of that this year, and they beat Pittsburgh. Now, I understand that Pittsburgh's kind of tailing downward a little bit here right now, but that was a game that you needed to show me you can win. They did show me that they can win, but they didn't win that Tennessee game early in the year. They didn't win that Kansas City game early in the year, so there's still a little bit of that. Are they 1 year away? Are they right on the doorstep? Can they make that? I know you can't be perfect. I'm not asking them to be perfect, Mike Rob. I'm asking them to win that game you're seeing right now. So, you know, I still am a little hesitant right now. And really, from a statistical standpoint, there's one thing that bothers me. They are 15th in points allowed. The last time a Super Bowl champ was ranked that low in points allowed was 2011 with the Giants, who were ranked 25th. And they really turned it on as they got to week 16, 17 into the playoffs. Now, Buffalo's been showing a little bit of a sign that they have been able to do that on that side of the ball. They had some new pieces. They're starting to gel. So maybe they're about to shut me up over the next couple of weeks here and prove me wrong. But I need to see a little bit more in that area to say, all right, they're on that upper echelon and they can go beat Kansas City.
Leave it to Mikey G to wet blanket our enthusiasm, guys, and hit us with some stat knowledge. Here's what I'll say. I mean, you were talking a little bit about the defense there. I look at their last 3 games, G. Like, they've only allowed fewer than 25 points in those games. I think the biggest thing is you're seeing Tre'Davious White start to turn around. He only had 1 interception in weeks 1 through 10, had 2 in that span. And so then we were talking about Josh Allen and I think his improved accuracy. In fact, if you want to sort of dig into that a little bit deeper, our boy that used to be at the NFL Network, Albert Breer's got an awesome podcast on that, talking about Tony Romo, of all people, was the guy that got in his ears and sort of helped him adjust his accuracy. So I think, again, it's all about when teams begin to catch fire. I think they're catching fire at the right time. And I just love their mentality. They've got some workhorses. They've got some dogs there. Obviously, I covered Cole Beasley here in Dallas. I just think there's a swag about this group. There's a confidence. And I loved last year, Josh Allen reminding us that there is only one true New York team. One of my favorite places to cover a game. All right, the AFC North is so good, guys. The team has everyone talking. It's only in 3rd place. Who will rise to the top in time for the playoffs? And the word on Tom Brady, the weekend word that is,